Hey everyone, thank you for watching. My name is Louis Demos, and today I will be presenting Becoming a SOC Analyst, my journey in Immersive Labs. I want to take a moment to talk about the presentation. The goal of this presentation is to inform students about my experience in Immersive Labs working on the SOC Analyst Beginner V2 career badge. Immersive Labs is an excellent tool that students and workers can use to help expand their knowledge in cybersecurity. It can also be used for really any domain of information technology. They have a ton of labs and they're really informative. And I would say anybody that's looking to improve their skills, definitely take a look at Immersive Labs. It's a great website. Today, I'll be going over what the SOC Analyst career badge encompasses and how effective it was in my cybersecurity training. So really briefly, I just wanted to give a showcase of some of the immersive labs that I've completed. I worked in the cyber kill chain, the Mitri attack framework, introduction to incident response, networking, Wireshark, PowerShell basics, log analysis, Splunk, and I also did a little bit of NIST security and privacy controls for information systems and organizations. And we're going to talk about some of these today. So what is a SOC analyst? The role of a SOC employee is to ensure the security of systems within an organization. And to do so, they'll monitor, detect, and investigate and respond to cyber threats around the clock. So we're going to go in depth about this a little more and really what the role of SOC employee will look like. But this is a little bit of an overview of what SOC employee is tasked with. So the SOC Analyst Beginner V2 Career Badge. The SOC Analyst badge focuses on those who are new to the SOC or Security Operations Center. Immersive Labs provided a series of labs to help prepare students and workers for a role in the SOC. Some of the labs we'll be talking about today include the Cyber Kill Chain, PowerShell Basics, Splunk, Wireshark, and more. So let's jump into the Cyber Kill Chain. In 2011, developed by Lockheed Martin, the cyber kill chain is a seven-phase security model that aids organizations in cybersecurity by breaking down the steps to manage and improve cyber systems. Learning the cyber kill chain helps professionals understand how cyber attacks can take place and what is necessary to mitigate attacks as proficient as possible. It's interesting because even 14 years later, this model still has quite a bit of relevance. And as we all know, cybersecurity is an ever-evolving landscape, but this kind of gives us a good idea of what we can do during an attack and kind of breaks down the steps of an attack in general. So the first step of the cyber kill chain is reconnaissance. So this is where threat actors will find out information about those who they are targeting. An example could include web scanning to look for vulnerabilities, making relationships with inside individuals. So that could be trying to befriend somebody that's in an organization and attempt to get more inside information. It could be looking at social media accounts of people who work within the organization. The list kind of goes on. The second phase is weaponization. So this is when the threat actor will use the information found in the first stage and begin to create and distribute a malicious payload. Then we jump into the delivery phase where the threat actors deliver that payload to the target. Most commonly, this is done through phishing emails. Another example is malicious USBs. So you could leave an USB in the lobby of an organization, and a curious employee may plug it into his work computer. A lot of different ways that threat actors can deliver payloads today. They're becoming more creative by the day, and you always got to find new ways to maintain your security. Exploitation is the next phase where the payload is delivered to the threat actor and they begin to exploit the victim's operations. So the goal here is usually to gain access to the victim's system. Persistence and installation. So once a threat actor compromises the target system, they attempt to escalate privilege to have further access. Examples of that include SSH hijacking or Windows remote management. Command and control is our sixth phase. Once the threat actor has control over the systems, they will continue to maintain control for as long as possible and also kind of cover their tracks a little bit. And finally, we reach our last phase, actions on objectives. This is where the threat actor is in control and they will act on their motives and attempt to receive what they want. Most of the time, if somebody is attacking your organization, they have a goal in mind, they have a motive, and this is where they will seek out their motive once they have gained access. So in Immersive Labs here, we take a look at the actions on objectives phase, and we use Splunk to identify malicious acts on Windows services. So here we use the following query to identify what temp file is executed by the command prompt. Splunk is great that it indexes all these searches, and you can use a query like this to determine exactly what temp file is being executed. In this case, it is the 121214.tmp. Now we're going to talk about PowerShell basics. So PowerShell is a scripting language and command line shell that is used to manage system processes, services, folders, files, and more. It's an excellent tool that can be used on-site and remotely. And Immersive Labs gave us a couple of labs to teach us about the practical use of PowerShell. So in this instance here in Immersive, we are able to navigate through different directories to retrieve and modify content on the system. This has industry-wide application and is a great way to find data locally or remotely. In this instance, they asked us what date was the company one folder last modified, and we can easily find that by setting our location path to the users/IML user/report/January and prompting it with the commandlet get child item. And at that point, we can see the company one folder, and we can see the last write date, which was 5/1/2024. And looking a little further in that, we navigate to the report section, the February side, the February folder. And again, we use that get content to display report text one. And once we do that, we are able to retrieve a token. Great way to look through files. PowerShell also offers scripting, which can be used in a ton of different ways. We use it in Active Directory, and it can be a really easy way to get things done proficiently. Now we're going to talk about Splunk. So Splunk is a powerful cybersecurity tool that's used to analyze, detect, and visualize data. The program features a friendly user interface, which we kind of talked about a little bit, with a number of search features, and it also encourages users to create dashboards and analytics for data. So the really good thing about Splunk here is that we can visualize our data once we actually pull up what we're looking for. We can create some graphs and other means of being able to visualize data to kind of see it and understand it a little bit easier. So we use Splunk to find data sources, do advanced searching, and ultimately create dashboards. So here in Immersive, we used a couple of these queries here on the bottom left for different parameters such as status code breakdown, web activity by IP, and IP activity by HTTP. Then we're able to create visualizations and add them to our dashboard, which we can see here on the bottom right. Again, this gives us a clear understanding of each individual parameter. So if we look at HTTP status code breakdown, we can see that the most common code is code 303, or another example, web activity by IP. We can see that 40.8.0.42 address had the most activity out of all the IPs listed. And again, similarly on IP activity by HTTP method. So great way to visualize data. And again, Splunk is a great program for cybersecurity professionals. Another great program for cybersecurity professionals is Wireshark. So Wireshark is a great tool that can be used to analyze network traffic. It can be used as a packet sniffer, and the tool captures packets and provides information about data that is being captured. So Immersive Labs gave us some in-depth knowledge on search queries and how to analyze traffic in Wireshark. So using Wireshark queries, we're able to display all web traffic from http.request and ssl.-tls client hello. So we can then modify that query to include TCP flags and exclude packets going to and from TCP port 25. So up here, we can see that first example, HTTP request or SSL handshake. This one in particular gave us 0.3% of captures. It's kind of blocked out on the bottom of this window here. But good way to kind of break down the traffic there. And similarly, when we're asked to do it, include TCP flags and exclude packets going to and from TCP port 25, we could see that our results change to 0.8%. And this is the query here for that. So really good way of how you can narrow searches down to find specific traffic that you're looking for in Wireshark. So these are my takeaways from Immersive Labs. I found that Immersive Labs provided hands-on experience in what it takes to work as a SOC employee. The labs serve as a great tool to help learn all about valuable cybersecurity tools and protocols. Using Immersive Labs, we were able to learn how to detect and respond to threats accordingly through the use of tools like PowerShell, Wireshark, Splunk, and more. The labs definitely helped improve my technical ability and problem-solving skills as well. I will continue to use Immersive Labs as a tool to study for CompTIA's Security Plus certification. And I'd like to say thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions, feel free to contact me. My email is listed below. And I hope you guys have a good one. Thank you.